lot of people ask me as a raw food bodybuilder and stuff, what do I eat, how much protein, and what do I do in a day? And it's really, really simple. And the best part about this, it doesn't take a lot of time. So every morning, after I get back from my initial cardiovascular workout, I put myself a quick shake. Of course, everybody's got one of these bad boys. I take a little bit of water to start off, and I put that in my special water machine. I do like to have the best water I possibly can. Water is a big thing, and of course one of the biggest nutrients that we require. Add a little bit of water in here. I mix up some bananas now for me, because I like my shakes a little cool in the morning. So I take some bananas and I'll cut them up and put them in baggies beforehand, so that I don't have to think about what I'm doing too much. That's enough there.
So those are frozen in the fridge?
Yeah, so I freeze these in the fridge at night, and that way it's all pre-cut and I get a nice smoothie kind of ice cream flavor. So I give that a little blend. The cool thing is I can even do this on the road, so sometimes I don't have time to freeze them on the road. But the other thing is because I do lift a lot and stuff, and our food content doesn't have a lot of protein in it anymore, and I'm not big on eating too many nuts and stuff just because of enzymes inhibitors and stuff. I throw a little bit of digestive enzymes, because I believe for the average person they don't need that much protein, but if you're lifting a lot, more amino acid blends from a variety of plant sources. Now I like plant source protein much better, because the old saying is, oh wait, how do you get your protein? You need how many grams of this and that, and really it's not what you eat, it's what you are able to absorb. And so I think there's a lot of fallacies out there, and everybody has to find their own kind of optimal fuel mix.
So what you're just doing is you're opening enzyme pills and putting them in your...
Exactly, because oftentimes if food is crossed over a border, okay, even if it has all the things in it, they've irradiated it, which takes out the natural enzymes occurring in the food to break that down. So if I was to look at maybe this strawberry, okay, I don't know if this strawberry's crossed across the border. If it has, they've irradiated, which have taken the natural enzymes that normally break this down and puts an energetic drain on my body. So I want to make sure my stuff gets that. So I do a little bit of preemptive. The other thing I do, and I'll throw a little bit of berries in here, okay, so then I blend those up in with it. So now we've got lots of fruit, lots of antioxidants, got some carbohydrates from the banana, and I always get a kick out of a lot of these people will talk about, oh wait, what about the glycemic index, and bananas are really hard. You're not going to get fat on bananas or apples or oranges or these things. Most of them are fructose based. Fructose doesn't break down the same way as sugars and that sort of thing. Now that's my regular smoothie just with fruits and stuff, and you can put any fruit. I mix it up either day. I put different fruits in, whatever like. Then I have a selection of 3 different types of protein I go with. Now each one of these proteins have different amino acid structures, so they talk about, well, a lot of plant proteins are incomplete or whatever. So what I have found is combining a little bit of rice protein, a little bit of pea protein, and a little bit of hemp protein together, and each one of those has very unique amino acid cycles. But when you put them all together, all right, we'll just put a little bit in here, right? When you put them all together, you have an amazing product. Now I love hemp because you get a little bit of fiber and edestin protein, which is cool. Got a little tocotrienols, which is very good for preventing cancer, antioxidant as well.
That's rice bran solubles, right?
Yes, it is, exactly. You're exactly right. Rice bran solubles, and
so that's good vitamin E and protein and...
Yeah, vitamin E, tocotrienols, very nutrient. All the protein I'm having is nutrients. This is, like, in my opinion, far more effective than a lot of the traditional proteins that are out there today. And once you've switched over to a plant-based products, and you start putting this in your body for a couple weeks as opposed to like synthesized, overly processed stuff, you can't believe the difference in how you feel, how you digest. And instead of taking in hundreds and hundreds of grams of protein, you'll cut your protein by probably right off the bat 50%, and maybe even a little more, as your body gets cleaner and more efficient to digest this. And again, I always put some enzymes in it to and we just blend that up. Only takes a couple of seconds. And you can see you can actually see all the nutrients and everything going around here, the fiber and the strawberries and blueberries. So it's like, you know, my brain is telling me this is going to be good.
Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and say, that's a tiny little blender, and you're a big guy. And most people have Vitamixes, which, you know, can hold 4 times that. I mean, they're going to look at that and say, how's that big guy going to get anything out of that little tiny drink?
You know, that's a really good point, and we're so consumed with mass of food as opposed to the density of food. So in other words, it's how much life is in there and also how much my body's able to extract. So when I first start switching over to you know, from a carnivorous, you know, meat-eating mentality, like you know over a decade ago, my mind was like exactly asking that question: how do I possibly go from eating all this meat and stuff? But what I didn't understand is I might have been eating hundreds of grams of stuff or all this stuff, but my body was only absorbing a fraction of it because it had all this crud and sludge and all this sort of stuff in it. As I switched over, when I first started eating, I couldn't get enough raw food. And really what I found out is my body was actually starving for nutrients. Even though I was eating a lot of calories or proteins or fats, I wasn't actually absorbing it. So when I started eating all the raw foods and the foods that naturally occur in the way nature made it, you know, like all the other animals do, for about a month or two, I was eating massive quantities of food. It was like, my body's like, oh my God, you're getting fed. And then as it went off, it's kind of like a refeeding period where you get nutrified, as I say. You know, your body fills up its nutrients inside it, and then it's like, well, I just don't need that much. And most people are shocked that in the course of a day now, because I've been doing this for a long, long time, I'll have one of these shakes in the morning. You'll see this, you know, this afternoon we'll go in and I'll have a massive salad to get lots of fiber and that sort of thing, and all sorts of vegetables and nutrients. And then maybe a shake in the evening, or go out with my friends for a nice raw meal where we'll have some of the funner stuff in the raw food, some of the desserts and stuff. And that's it. And people are like, how is that possible? You can build muscle. But I mean, look at moose. You look at this giant moose in the forest. It's 1,500 pounds walking through the swamp. And what does it eat? It eats some moss and some grass and that sort of thing, and it's massive and huge. But again, it's not eating candy bars and potato chips or gooey, sludgy foods that stick inside the system that plug up its ability to assimilate it. And there it is, you drink it down. Lots of times, another thing is, what I will do is I'll actually put this in a bowl, pour it down, and take my time eating it. So a lot of people will gun the shake down.
Your mouth enzymes mixing with it.
Exactly. So I'll take this like this. Oh man, that's so good. I mean, that's just, I mean, I can't imagine anybody not wanting. And take the time and just spoon it out. Enjoy your food, give thanks for your food, bless your food. We're so fortunate to have this stuff in our lives that we can even if we live in cities, we can go to, you know, beautiful stores that have this stuff. We can go home, and then we have in a country, we can actually grow some of our own food in our houses with the technology today.
Most people, when they put stuff, they swallow these great smoothies, they miss an important digestive step by not swishing it in their mouth.
Exactly. And so a lot of times, you know, you see, oh God, I gotta guzzle it down. When you actually take the time, and if, you know, I took the whole time to do this today, and I will after we shut the camera off, is I'll spoon this out one piece at a time, and it'll take me 10 or 15 minutes to eat my food. But the level of appreciation, gratitude, and my ability to assimilate it, I feel personally, affects my ability to get those nutrients inside the body. So as far as the proteins and all that stuff, you just kind of figure out what your own mix is. I particularly like pea, hemp, and, you know, rice bran proteins for the different reasons and different times. And if I'm trying to get more size, I would increase one over the other. And if I wanted to decrease like body fat or something, I was preparing for a show, I would change the ratios again just with my diet and alter it with my training. So
when you say hemp, do you find that hemp powder is better than eating a cup full of hemp seeds or hemp nuts? Or in hemp oil, or?
You know, that's a really good question. I do like, I prefer the powder for my own self, but again, I add a lot of enzymes in it, so I make sure that I absorb it. Why I like it is because it blends up very nice. Now, some people like to take hemp seeds and mix it with water and make a nice hemp milk to go with some of their foods. Or I find the seeds are really nice if I'm traveling. The one thing is, with any seed-based product, you got to make sure that you're adding a liquid inside it or an enzyme, because alt nuts have enzyme inhibitors that need to be activated inside of water. So if I'm going to do nuts in their own state, I'm going to soak it. If the powder, what happens, because it's grinded up really fast, and you can grind your own. A lot of people will take almonds, or they'll take hemp seeds, or they'll just grind it up into their own powder. Why I like the powder grind up, then when I add the water, it becomes reactive much faster than if I had to soak it overnight, because I'm into speed too, like you know what I mean? Like, there is a convenience factor that I like in my life, and most people that switch over to this style of eating are surprised with how little time it takes. In other words, I've just had the best breakfast ever. I mean, it only took a couple of minutes and it's done. And it's real easy. I mean, I don't cook, I don't have the time to bake things or anything, so I have a whole lot of time to do the other things that I like to do, which is, you know, read, exercise, travel around, do speaking, all the things that I'm passionate about, and you get to do whatever you're passionate about.
But the best theoretical way, instead of having a powder that's been oxidizing for a long time, is to soak your nuts overnight and then grind them in the morning and eat them right away while they still have life force in them. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing, and the closer you can get something from out of the ground, right. Like, all food is really designed to go to the tree, pick from the ground, and eat it at that point. So the fresher, the shorter that time frame is, the better off that you're going to be as far as absorbing and getting the nutrient life force out of the food. The further you go along down that chain, the less and less that you get, and that's when you're going to have to rely on some of these other things, you know, technology, in order to compromise and to make up for that time loss.
Okay, so remember to eat your smoothies with a spoon. Nick Stern does the same thing. You get a lot more out of your food that way. And then it's off to the gym.